Hello student, in this video we will learn the next point, that is about the how to close a connection. For closing a connection we have to use method as in a close method. So SQL connection dot close, it is used to close that connection we have created. Now once we create a connection, open a connection, we are performing different operations just like inserting a data, then deleting a data, updating the database. So these operations will be performed by the user on that particular connection. So close connection, it will free up the memory, free up the sources, and there is one concept that we have learned, that is about the connection pool. Now this connection pool, it is used to store your disconnected when we have to use a disconnected data which is not connected all time to your server, and that data it is stored somewhere, that is in the form of the connection pool. Next time again we have to perform, we want to connect to the same database. At that time we will use some basic information from the connection pool which is stored, and the next changes has been done into the database, that will be only retrieved. So it is saving the time to perform the operations. So that is the use of the connection pool. So when close method is called, then first thing it can do about the rollbacks. Now what is the rollback? If suppose we are performing any transaction, any action, and which is not appropriately performed, having some error, then we have to come back to original position of that particular operation. So that rolling back can be done with the help of the close. So it will find out which are the different pending transactions are there. These pending transactions will be undo to the original state of that particular for the particular tables or the database. After that, it then releases the connection to the connection pool. If it is using the connection pool, then it will release that content to the connection pool, or the connection will be, it will close the connection if the connection pool is disabled. See, this ADO.NET, it is providing the facility of connection pool, that is for the disconnected data some content will be stored in the connection pool. But suppose the users are not willing to use that connection pool concept, and they have set the connection pool as a false one, as a disabled one, then it will, this close method will close the connection totally. Otherwise, this closed method, if the connection pool is used, then it will release the content, release the connection to the connection pool for the next operation. So this is the use of the closed method. Now this is one example how or where should be the proper position of this closed method. Now this is your SQL connection con new SQL connection, and connection string we have to provide here. Then we should use try catch statements, that is for your handling any exception, handling error. This is a best practice. So in a try statement, write down the open, that is connection, that is object of this SQL connection con, which is having the connection string. Connection string means it is the data containing information about database, data source, where and in which way you want to connect it. So data source and database information, it is present in the connection string. And in try, write down con.open, it is used to open the connection. We should not write down the close within the try statement, it is not a best practice. So use that connection string object and write down this is in the finally statement. Now you have learned this try and catch statements, exception handling in a Java, so it works same way in ASP.NET also. So try and within the try block you have to write down the code that you want to perform it. If any error occurs, then that will be catch here, that will be handled by the catch statement. So here catch exception EX, and then you have to write down what message you want to print on your web browser, so you can handle over in this catch. And finally, means every time when this try statement executed, whether the try executed or whether the catch executed, after that finally must be executed. So write down the close statement in the finally. So finally clause is such that it will be executed after the operation of the try and the catch every time. So write down con.close So it will release the memory content to connection pool, or it will close the connection. And second thing, if there are some pending transactions, then that will be rolled back with the help of this close connection. So I think you understand that where should we write this close one. If we don't use exception handling, program will run, no problem in that, but it will sometimes, if suppose you cannot able to log in, you cannot able to open the database, then it gives an error, and this error, it is in the form of the system error, so that cannot be understood by the normal user. So when you are delivering your project, then you should give the error messages. It should be customized one, and the user should understand it. So better way than write down in a try and catch, and write down the way that you want to write that particular error and handle that error, and that message should be understood by the normal user. Then last point from this chapter, it is about using error collections. So here we are only discussing about the SQL error collection class. Now this SQL error correction class, it is for handling the errors, and this class is created by SQL exception and to collect the instance of the SQL error class. So SQL error collection always contains at least one instance of the SQL error class. So these class at least contain one object of this SQL error class. So simply remember that SQL error collection, it is used to handle the collection, used to handle the errors, and it is having a collections of the classes of this SQL error. This class is created by this SQL exception, so it is at the parent level SQL exception, and this class, that is SQL error collection class, always contain one of the object of SQL error class. Then if you go to the Microsoft website, then you will find out there are so many methods and properties are there. We will not go in detail that much. It is having a property just like a count, that you can count the number of errors has been occurred in your web application. Then even item and integer 32, this indicates it gets an error at the specific specified index. It will show that the index number. So this is about error collection, and this is the end of your chapter. Now in next video we will learn the programs and how to perform the SQL connection, how to connect SQL server, how to create SQL database first of all. After creating SQL database, how to connect it and how to perform simple operations and then execute it, and how to close that operation. So that we are going to study in this practical of this chapter. And in next chapter we will learn detail about the ADO.NET different operations. So we will stop here. Now just let's review of what we have learned in the theory part of this chapter, that we have studied. First of all, these are the different databases that we have learned. Different databases. So we have learned different databases as in OLEDB, ODBC, RDO, ADO, and ADO.NET. So as per we have seen different advantages, disadvantages of every database, and the latest one we are going to handle, that is about the ADO.NET. Then in today's today's lectures, we have seen what is a connection object to create a connection, and among that there are the different kind of connections we can establish, just like OLEDB, ODBC, or it may be ADO.NET, SQL, and it may be your Oracle also. So for your curriculum we are only going to perform the operations of SQL connections. We have seen how to make SQL connection object, how to use it, and how to close that connection. And then last one, it is about the error collection. So in next video we will perform the practicals of this SQL connection. Now we will stop here, and thank you.